What's happening, guys? Name's Silent Mike, Super Training Gym. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna go over some lifting shoes, my review of the shoes, in particular the Reebok Lite TR, the brand new Reebok Legacy lifter, and then the Reebok Lifter 2.0. In the past, I've also squatted in the Nike Romaleos, so I may mention them here and there and compare them to these three shoes. I am a power lifter, so I use these shoes for squat, bench, deadlift. In terms of weightlifting, I can't speak much on it itself as we do different lifts, and I'm not a weightlifter, but I'll try to compare, give you guys the best advice I can, and give you my honest opinion. I am sponsored by Reebok, but I chose Reebok. Reebok chose me because I enjoy their products. I think they make quality products, and they're for the lifter, they're for the fans, they're for the fitness industry. They support me well, they support this video, this YouTube channel well, and they support all types of lifting, not just CrossFit, powerlifting, weightlifting, strongman, etc., boxing, MMA, all of it, yoga, cycling. They support it all. So let's get started. Talking about heel height. So for powerlifters, sometimes a heeled shoe, similar to weightlifters, can help us with some mobility issues, mask those, work around those, but it can also be advantageous and help us in getting better leverage for the squat. So that's why I squat in a heel. I have squatted in the Lite TR, which is basically zero heel. It tries to get you as close to the ground as possible, kind of sinks in, nice, flat, solid heel. Both the Legacy, I believe the Romaleo, and the Lifter are a 0.75 or 3/4 inch heel. Now, squatting in these guys, the Lifter 2.0, felt like the heel was shorter than the other two, but that I feel was purely because the sole, not only the sole, but the insert has some cushion to it. It has a little bit of give because these are more of a cross-training shoe. So it feels a little bit closer to the ground, a little bit less of a heel. These do not. These feel very sturdy, very firm heel. So it does feel a little bit taller, although with all the research I did, it points to them both being the same height. In terms of heel, all three are about the same. Romaleo, Legacy, Lifter, Lite TR being who knows what it is, whether it's a 1/4 of an inch or not, but it's not elevated from the front to back, and it gets you as close to the ground as possible. When it comes to comfort, it's not my #1 priority personally when it comes to a lifting shoe or performance shoe, although I don't want anything uncomfortable or unnecessary rubbing. In terms of comfort, if something I had to wear all day long, I might go with the Lite TR. It is a flat shoe, it is a minimal shoe, but it's very comfortable. Both these shoes, in my opinion, have a nice wide toe box. I have a flatter, wider foot, so both of those fit me very well. This one's a little bit softer around the edges, in my opinion, a little bit more pliable of a shoe. Well, this one is a little bit stiffer, and although it is stiff, the heel, the actual shoe itself has decent amount of comfort around the ankle and around the forefoot, in my opinion. Not to say the shoe is not uncomfortable by any means. I'd probably rank them all about the same. This one is also a little bit more pliable. It has a decent amount of cushion here. Well, this one has a little bit around the ankle, but not around the forefoot by any means. And this one is similar to this cushion all the way around. So they're all very similar in my opinion. Once again, it's not what I'm looking for. I've worn these for 1.5, 2 hour squat sessions, and they feel great so far. Next, going into sizing. Typically, I'm about a 10.5 or 11 in men's. That's in US sizing. With these are a 10.5. These are also a 10.5, and they fit fine, perhaps a little big. So if I wore an 11, which I do in some typical running shoes or basketball shoes, an 11 would be a little bit big. So these may run a little on the bigger side because of the bigger toe box, and because maybe the side fabric here is a little thinner. I would suggest maybe going half a size to a whole size down, but that is personal preference, as I do like my shoe nice and tight. I learned my lesson, so I went with a size 10 on these, and that fits perfectly. My fit foot snug, but it's not squished. As I mentioned, the toe box is fairly big. The heel is large and comfortable. I have a wide foot through kind of my entire foot, so the forefront, the midfoot, and the heel are all very comfortable to me. So sizing, I'd find that they're all relatively the same, that there maybe are a hair on the big side. Talking about the sturdiness of the shoe, if I had to rank them, I'd probably go number one with the Legacy. Most common shoe that it reminds me of is the Romaleo. It's a very sturdy shoe. I don't feel my foot wiggle around at all. Sometimes I don't even lace them up. I'll just strap them down with these two straps, and I feel so tight into the shoe, and then my foot and the shoe feel so tight into the ground, which feels awesome when I'm squatting. So in terms of any kind of stability, sturdiness, anything like that, I'd probably rank these number one. The main difference between powerlifting and weightlifting is that powerlifters, not the main thing, but the less than obvious thing, besides the lifts being different, is that we do not move our feet in our lifts. In weightlifting, you do. So the grip on these is a little bit different. It's a little bit aerodynamic, I guess. It's a little bit not slippery. The rubber's still kind of sticky, but there's not a ton of grip here. And so that would be one thing if I was to be super picky, uber picky, that I would make a little bit more grip, but I can still kind of flatten my foot, screw out, finding that torque in the ground, and I feel great in this shoe. Grip, sturdiness, number two would go to this guy. I feel great. You feel a little bit into the heel or into the sole of this shoe. The grip is my favorite shoe of all sneakers I've ever worn for lifting. Really grabs the ground well. You feel attached to the ground. And nothing's wrong with the stability or the grip and sturdiness with this shoe. In terms of the outside of the shoe, the sturdiness in the Legacy I feel is a little bit superior. Just the shoe itself feels sturdy throughout the entire thing, not just the sole, not just the heel, where the outside of the shoe is a little bit of flimsy compared to it, the sole, and you feel very attached to the ground. It feels great. But the side of the shoe can just be a little bit flimsy. It's a little bit thinner. So I guess if you tie your shoe tight, you're fine. I just feel like I'm totally attached to this shoe when I put it on. Last would be this shoe, because there's a little bit of cushion in the sole, in the insert, and also that toe box. Because it is a cross trainer, it's a little bit flimsy. It's made to be that way, I guess, but it'd probably be my least favorite. The bottom grip of the shoe is a little bit similar to the Legacy, where it's made for weightlifting, but has a little extra deeper tread, I guess, for the cross-training part. Still a great shoe. I squatted in this for a year or so, and it felt fine. I felt attached to the ground well, but not perfectly, as that cushion, when you're lifting maximal lows in the squat or deadlift, can get a little weird when you're trying to press off something and it's trying to stabilize your foot rather than something pure sturdy, as this shoe is much heavier. As soon as you grab it, it's the heaviest of the three. You can just feel the weight that's in this heel, that's in the sole, that's in the sides of this thing to really grab you, really be stable, a nice sturdy surface to press off of. Talking about durability, I've had no issues with any of the shoes I've ever worn. These I've had for about a year. Long training sessions, both squat and deadlift. Some deadlifters typically like to use a flat shoe, but notably Misha, who's pulled 881, and some others do use a little heel, so I have pulled in heels a little bit. Long training sessions, multiple times a week, and not taking the best care of these. Nothing's ever happened, so durability so far is 10 out of 10. Similar with the Lite TR, I've trained in these for years and no real issues. Besides maybe a lace or something getting frayed, I've had no issues in these. I guess the Legacy still to be determined. I've only had these for 3 weeks, but so far so good. I've been pretty rough on them. Besides a little bit of dirt on the white, I've had zero issues with the durability. No strings hanging out, no issues at all. Coming down to pricing, these feel and they are priced accordingly, where they are kind of that elite upper echelon of training shoe. I believe they're $199 or so. I think it's well worth a shoe. I've always kind of been a sneakerhead. I have a closet full of shoes. I have shoes everywhere. I really enjoy shoes. I dig them. So far, what I get from this shoe is it's worth the price. The stability's there. The comfort's there. The sturdiness is there. The looks are there. I actually think they look super clean. Obviously, that's personal preference. But these are a little bit more upper echelon, a little bit more of the elite lifter. The Lite TR, these are a custom pair, so I colored these myself. They don't make them in this colorway. This is the Silent Mike Red Ranger shoe. I believe these started price about $89. Maybe the custom pair is $115 or so. Same thing, because of the durability, because of the functionality of these shoes, all being the best on the market in my opinion for powerlifting. These two are currently what I use. I'll use these for all my squats, front, pause, high bar, low bar, anything like that. And then some light pulling, conventional. And then I use these for all my sumo pulling and some of my conventional pulling as well. I think personally they're the best shoes I've lifted in these two pairs. Going to pricing here, I think these are about $89, and they also have the plus version, which has two straps for around $129 or so. In my opinion, I've used the one with two straps, the plus. These are just as good. So to save yourself money there, these are a great entry-level shoe. I've never had any issues with these besides that little bit of stability it didn't ruin my squat. I still squatted heavy weights in this thing, but it's not perfect. It's not optimal in my opinion. I would go with these. But if your budget's not there, then obviously those will do. Many squat in a flat shoe. That's something you got to kind of figure out for yourself. You don't need a heel, but it can be advantageous to many people, and I enjoy squatting in a heel. Going into colorways, this one I think has the most options. This is kind of a red-orange, not my favorite color in the world. I prefer more of a typical red, fire red, but still cool. There's other options in this as well. This guy, I believe there's only this colorway, and then maybe an all black with gold accents on it. And then this one, I was never a huge fan of many of the colorways. There's an original all black with red accents that I dug, so then I made this custom colorway. But if you guys help me out here, maybe we can go to Reebok's Instagram, light them up. What I'm trying to do is get a custom colorway, a Silent Mike colorway of the Legacy available for myself and you guys. Maybe if you guys can edge them on a little bit if you go to their Instagram and just mention, hey, at Silent Mike Legacy, custom Legacy, exclamation point. That's at Silent Mike custom Legacy, exclamation point on Reebok's Instagram, their newest picture. Maybe we can fire them up a little bit and get things moving. That's the goal. But that's my review for these guys. Pretty much give these an A to A plus. I'd say an A to A plus for their function for a powerlifting shoe. And then maybe a B plus for powerlifting in my opinion. Hopefully one day I can get a weightlifting friend on here and we can talk about the functionality of this guy and how it works for weightlifting. But from what I can tell, I think a lot of weightlifters are going to dig the shoe, move over to that shoe. That's it for this one, guys. Be sure to subscribe, share this video if it helped you guys out. Like the video. I believe Reebok One, there's a link down there. If you sign up, you can get anywhere from 15 to 25% off any of those sneakers. All you gotta do is basically put in your email address and that's it. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Appreciate you.